Welcome to Peripheral Vision, where I take a look at the more esoteric ways of interacting with video games. This first one isn't a peripheral in the traditional sense, but it does fit the bill for odd ways to interact with a video game. The Solar Sensor. Back in 2003, Konami released Boktai The Sun Is In Your Hand for Game Boy Advance. Produced by Metal Gear linchpin Hideo Kojima, Boktai is an isometric action game where you take control of Django, a vampire hunter who makes use of the gun del Sol to take out creatures of darkness. In order to use his weapon, Django needs to charge it with the power of the sun, either by making use of solar stations dotted around the game world, or by having the player physically take the game outside. Suitably Kojima-esque, the cartridge for Boktai incorporated a solar sensor, effectively a photometric light sensor that measures light exposure. The game uses the sensor to determine if the player is out in direct sunlight or not. If it is, the player's weapon will charge up, usually a boost to what would be applicable if using the in-game charging stations. This light sensor would also affect the in-game world, with the vampires in the game being dealt damage as they can't be exposed to sunlight. Boktai was well received, being touted as a mix between the stealth gameplay of Metal Gear Solid and the gothic tendencies of Castlevania, with a smidgen of spaghetti western thrown in for good measure. The game received two sequels on the Game Boy Advance, Solar Boy Django and Sabata's Counterattack, that both used the same sensor, although the latter one was only released in Japan. It also received a sequel on DS called Lunar Nights in Western Territories, which dropped the requirement for the solar sensor because of the size of the DS game cards. However, it's made an optional accessory if you play the game with any of the three Boktai GBA games in the console's second slot.